I'm kind of shocked. I'm pretty speechless and surprised because I read The Jewel by Amy Ewing and I liked it. Now, if you guys remember from my first January book haul, I wasn't too keen on this book. It looks cool, it kind of sounds cool, but it sounds like something I'm gonna hate. It could be really good or it could be really bad, and I'm really quite concerned that I'm not gonna like it. Yeah, that was what I said. So I wasn't heaps keen. I was kind of really concerned and nervous to read this book. I really didn't know what to expect, but I wasn't expecting very much. I had very low expectations of this book to a point where I was kind of like, I don't want to read this, I don't want to read this. So I sucked it up and I read this and I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. I was very surprised that I enjoyed it. I think because I had kind of low expectations and I kind of expected I'd go in hating this book. But when it came out and I really liked it, I was just blown away because it was the complete opposite of what I was expecting to read. The whole blurb on the back, I completely misunderstood. Because like, when I said like the royal companion Ash, I presumed, you know, I stupidly for some reason thought that the royal family bought her, but they don't. I thought they were locked up in cages. I don't know why, I just in my head Ash was locked up in a cage and she was locked up in a cage next to him and that's how they met. That's not how that happens at all. No one's locked up in cages yet. You know, I have a feeling the second one people might be like, you know, not treated like humans, but no one's locked up in a cage. So essentially The Jewel is about Violet Lasting, and she's got this gene in her DNA that enables her to carry children for the royal family, pretty much. She's got called augatories that are like special powers. So because of that, she's able to carry like children for the royal family, because for some reason the royal family have this genetic defect where they can't have kids, or if they do, the children die. So they have to take girls from the lower levels and essentially force them to carry their children. Now, when I read this, I was under the assumption that they were pretty much gonna get raped by people that bought them, husbands. Like, I don't know why I thought that, because like, hello, of course they'd have like IVF stuff. They're not gonna rape young girls. That myth I was completely wrong with. The idea of that completely grossed me out, so I'm very relieved that didn't happen in this book, because I think I would have just been like creeped out to the max. So she's essentially sold and bought by the Duchess of the Lake. So she goes from living in the marsh. So there's like these like 5 tiers, like it's like in a circle out, and the marshes in the outer ring, and then you go in and like you've got like the bank and all these other levels like the teachers and the scholars, and then right in the middle you've got the Jewel, which is where the royal family live. Like you've got the Enchant, and then like you've also got like all the different duchesses. So when she hits puberty, she's taken away from her family and she's learnt to train using the augatories. They essentially lose their identity when they get bought. And so she's bought by the Duchess of the Lake, and all these women are older, like some are old, some are young, and they're trying to have kids because they want their child to marry the Enchantress's son. She's just had a son, so they all want to have daughters so that they can marry into the royal family. Don't let the blurb put you off this book. It's actually much better than the blurb makes it out to be. The blurb makes it out to be disgusting. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I got the creeps several times in this book. I wanted to throw up because of the whole like surrogate aspect. Just pregnant, like they're 16. Some of them are younger, like 18. Like, it just grossed me out. I just wanted to throw up. But besides from that, it was brilliant. My only other complaint about this book was the fact that for 150 pages, I didn't understand what was going on. They did not explain what the auguries were or why the royal family couldn't have kids. Like, you didn't know they couldn't have kids. I just thought it was weird that they were buying young girls to be their slaves to have their children. I didn't understand that concept at all. Like, I feel like that wasn't explained very well. I also feel like the world itself, when it first got introduced, it wasn't explained very well either. I think you could have spent like a paragraph minimum on each of the different sections, because I can't even remember what they're called. I'm excited for the next one because the way it ended, I was just like, I was mind blown. I was just shocked. I was speechless. It's really good. Like, it's actually a really good book. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I recommend that everybody reads it. So I'm going to discuss and get some spoilers happening. So if you haven't read it and you want to read it, you should probably go. So you guys go read it, come back, and then we can discuss this together. Bye for all the people who haven't read this book yet. Okay, so we have read this book. Like I said before, this was not what I expected at all. I was expecting to hate this book, and I completely loved it. I really liked it. Like, I thought Violet was an amazing character. Like, I love how like she was kind of rebellious, but at the same time she was sneaky about it. Like, I thought that was really cool. Ash was not what I expected him to be. He grew on me. At first I kind of thought he was weird, and I didn't like how he was the royal companion. Essentially, he just like he's hired by the royal families to like essentially flirt with their daughters and train them how to like kiss and all this stuff so that they become appealing to men and they know what to do when they get married, because everyone gets married off in this book. You don't get to fall in love. This thing doesn't happen. Violet and Ash meet because he accidentally thought that she was the Duchess's niece and not actually the surrogate. And he's like horrified. He goes, oh my god, you're the surrogate. How their relationship unfolds, good. I had some kind of issues because I don't think the time, like, you're not aware of how much time is passing. It just kind of like jumps around, so you kind of lose track of how far it's been. So I'm like, what do you mean you love him already? Like, no. I was kind of like shocked that he was horrified that she wanted to escape. Why would she want to stay in this world? That's my thing. Why is that horrifying for people? I'm like, of course she wants to get out, because you find out that once they have the kid, they die. They're told that, you know, they have their baby because they only have one kid, and then they're made infertile, and then they're essentially sent to another place, like to where they were held prior to being auctioned off. I was just like, well, how is that believable? And you find out that they die during childbirth. They're not being sent to some other facility where they stay there for the rest of their life. No, they die. They're essentially taken from their families as soon as they hit puberty, trained up to have these magic powers to complete in tests that make them more suitable. They're then auctioned off, and within a year they have a baby and then they die. What a horrible life. Oh my goodness, I thought that was horrible when I found that out, and everyone was just shocked, like, what do you mean that happened? It's like, that's what happened, you know. And so the whole time they're trying to get her pregnant, and I was just creeped out because, like, they'd knock her out. I thought it was so gross how they knocked her out to get her pregnant. I was like, oh, it did not sit well with me, that whole aspect. Like, I think it was written really, really well, but it grossed me out personally. The writing was brilliant. It was very convincing. It was very good, and that's probably why I wanted to throw up a lot. The main characters were creepy. The Duchess, treats her pretty bad, and she expects Violet to be grateful for everything she's done for her. And to me, that was just such a messed up mindset of this world. I'm sorry, you take these girls away from their families, force them to train with some powers that they probably don't even want to have, then to get auctioned off and bought as their slave, and then they're forced to have your child. You're not even asked, are you ready to have a kid yet? No, you're like 17 and you're gonna have a baby. And you also find out that, like, the duchesses go around, like, killing off the surrogates. They go around killing off these young girls. And I'm like, this is horrible. Like, oh, it's intense. The Duchess of the Lake has a son called Garnet. I just thought he was a drunk idiot who seemed like a bit of a useless character. When they were telling me about him, I was like, what is the point of this character? Besides to just create issues and problems that aren't really necessary to the plotline. And you find out, like, she's trying to escape, and one of the doctors with the royal family, I can't quite remember what his role is. He's the one that's trying to sneak her out and stuff. And you find out at the end of the book when she's about to leave, because Ash gets annoyed that she's running away because she falls in love with him. She tells him, oh, I'm leaving, and he's horrified that she wants to leave, and he's like, you lied to me. And he's so annoyed and angry at her for it, which is absurd, because why wouldn't you want to escape this horrible world and fate she's now living in? To me, it makes perfect sense that she wants to get out. Something goes wrong, and she communicates with this, I can't remember his name, this guy through this, like, this weird thing that they talk through and they communicate. It's like a cone or something, and only they can hear it. And she's, like, screaming at it, because what happens is she sneaks into Ash's room because Violet wants to go see him one last time. And when she's in there, they get caught, because what happened was the Duchess of the Lake niece sees them, because he's got a flirt with the niece, who's an absolute cow, and I disliked her character immensely, and tells her aunt, and they essentially drag Ash off and throw him in the dungeons to kill him, because he's in a relationship with her, pretty much a secret relationship. Yeah, he gets thrown in the dungeon, and then she's talking to the guy that she's trying to communicate to, and it's Garrett. The Duchess of the Lake's son is trying to help Violet escape from his mother. And I was blown away. Like, I just think I'm thinking he's this useless character who's got no, you know, role whatsoever. And then he's, like, vital to the plotline, you find out on the last page. And I was so blown away that I can't wait for the next book to come out. I want it now. I don't want to have to wait. This book surprised me in so many different ways, and I absolutely love that about it, because I wasn't expecting to enjoy it as much as I did. And I loved it, and it was so good, and I could quite happily read it again. It's different. It's a different take on this dystopian world. So, what do you guys think? Did you love this book? Did you hate it? I'm hoping you guys loved it. Let me know what you think. Comment down below. Subscribe if you don't subscribe, and like this video. So, I will see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.